Welcome back to K and K Real Talk. I am Kenny King. I'm a master transformation coach, and I focus on helping people become accomplished goal getters who basically make shit happen. In this scenario with K and K Real Talk, I focus on helping those with endometriosis reduce their symptoms holistically and manage their lives better so that they can feel good in their bodies and finally feel normal. So that's what I do. I'm solo today, but my lovely co-host, Kristen McCroby, she is the founder of Endometriosis and Me. You're probably familiar with her. But if this is your very first time, welcome. You can find more episodes at endometriosisandme.com. And so if you're watching, hi there. And if you're listening, so lovely to be with you in your corner of the world, wherever you are. I am in Texas, just north of Houston. So that's where I am in the world. And I want to talk about something today that we touch on now and then, but that we haven't really gotten down to the nitty gritty of. And that is endo and IBS, or let's just actually encapsulate IBS, SIBO, basically all the digestive issues. Let's just call it digestive distress. So a lot of people are starting to notice that they struggle with both endo and IBS, or that their digestive system is struggling. So if you're not an endometriosis sister, that's completely okay. You're probably here because you're interested in some form of women's health. So this is really crucial information, even if you only have digestive distress and digestive diagnoses and issues. So we hear a lot about our whole immune system starts in the gut, right? And we hear things about the gut brain connection. And so even mood disorders like anxiety and depression, people are starting to look at the gut actually for answers, and having a healthy gut microbiome, ensuring that everything is moving properly and cleansing properly, and the whole digestive system is really crucial to our overall health. So we even hear things about, now this is newer, so you may not have heard this yet, but that there's a uterus brain connection. So interesting, right? Let's just for the sake of understanding, instead of looking at our bodies as all these different like systems and symptoms, let's just go ahead and make the assumption that everything is connected, because it is. There's no part of you that's not connected to another part of you in some way, shape, or form. And the body is a magnificent system of systems. So there are all these little tiny systems working, but they're not working in isolation. Everything works together and everything impacts everything. And this is something that I actually even use in my coaching. So if somebody comes to me for business coaching to help them really up level their side hustle or leadership and confidence in their organization, whether they're working for themselves or someone else, we can't master business success if we don't have the health piece. Does that make sense? Your life isn't gonna be as good as it can be if your health is rotten or your confidence sucks. So you can just think about like the human, like our human experience. In order to have true health and wealth, we need to recognize that all of the systems work together. Same thing for the body. So it's a little bit like I've had people, like I had somebody tell me once that that her son was really struggling. We were talking about some nutrition and some food things, and she said, it's in his brain. It's not in his body. And I'm like, what the hell is your brain made of? The stuff you eat. Like if you don't eat, you die. End of story. Your body is literally functioning off of what passes through your lips and what goes on your skin and what's entering your body. And it literally impacts everything. So when we're looking at digestive distress, This isn't just, oh, I have this diagnosis, here's what's wrong with me, here's what I have to deal with for the rest of my life. If you choose that path, that's up to you. But I'm here to tell you that that doesn't have to be your choice. Same thing with endo. Your life doesn't have to be in a chronic state if you don't want it to be. You can make changes, and I don't care what anybody says, you haven't tried everything. Not everything, because that's not even possible that you've tried everything for the amount of time that you would need to see for it to work for your body. So let's look at this connection. So digestion is pivotal to everything. The energy level that you feel, your immune system, your mood, your ability to manage or reduce symptoms of depression, your ability to handle your endometriosis symptoms, all of these things are connected. And it's really, really crucial because, as we know, endo is estrogen and inflammation dependent. There's one key to this. Well, actually, the digestive system handles both of those. Your estrogen dominance, your digestive system is the system that helps you get rid of that helps you rebalance. If you can't eliminate and process through, if that estrogen can't leave, it's not that you're intaking too much estrogen, it's the estrogen can't get out. That's your digestive system. Inflammation, that is a huge component of your digestive system. And let me just tell you, digestive distress is 25% of what you eat and 75% of who you're being when you eat. What the heck does that mean, who you're being when you eat? What I'm really referring to is the how and the who of eating. So there's a couple things that come into play here. Are we scarfing down our meals? Are we chewing adequately? Are we multitasking when we're eating? Are we in a stress state when we're eating? Number one cause for inflammation is stress. 75% of our digestive distress is related to our life stress. So your mental health, your emotional health, all of this is critical. That's Cash letting you know that what I'm telling you is the truth. You hear my dog barking. Today is actually the first day, like we have like sunshine today. My dogs have been cooped up. It's been storming here. The backyard's been like puddles. So today it's like pretty and there's sunshine. It's starting to dry up out there. So they finally have the doggy door open. So they're having a ball. Anyway, so this is crucial because how you approach healing your digestive system will absolutely impact your endo symptoms as well. And so a couple of things we can do is, can we change what we eat? Absolutely, yes. That's hard for some people in the beginning. Or some people are eating really, really healthy and still struggling in the digestive region. So a couple reasons why that could be. One, healthy for one person is not healthy for everyone. If you think you're eating healthy, you might still not be eating healthy for your unique body. Your body. And if you need help with that, that's what you reach out to me for, so that we can discover how do you eat healthy for your unique body. Because everybody's not supposed to be eating asparagus or eggs or avocados or chicken or whatever you think is healthy. So kale. Not everybody's supposed to be eating kale. So tomatoes. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. So healthy that's your body determines what's healthy for you. There's nobody else on the planet that knows exactly what you're supposed to eat other than your body. So there's that piece. But then it's, okay, like, who am I being? Am I eating in a stress state? Am I an emotional eater or a binge eater? Am I eating, like I said earlier, not chewing, eating so fast that my body doesn't know what the heck to do with, like, how to process? The system will literally go, I don't have time for that. Just store it as fat because I don't know what to do with it. Chewing is so crucial to digestive healing. Like, literally, it's one of the biggest things, like breathing, chewing, slowing down, ensuring we have adequate fiber, ensuring that, we have adequate hydration in our bodies so that things can move. Half the time we're chronically dehydrated. but we think we're drinking enough water. We have nutritional deficiencies. Um, and we are also going at life at a pace that is just expected. Like stress is just expected. And so we're at a chronic low level stress for a long period of time. And that is the root of most digestive distress. Most issues are related to stress. So think that if I'm suffering from digestive distress, how does my body handle stress? How often am I stressed? And am I even paying attention to how stressed I am? If I'm on a scale of 0 to 10, and 10 is stress to the max, like about to spontaneously combust or whatever, figure out where you are on that scale. And then it's really important for you to consider, what are my top 3 stressors? Like, what is happening in my life that I put stress on myself about, or that it feels like it's coming from the outside in. I feel overwhelmed, or I feel stuck, or I feel whatever that is. And then it's a good opportunity when you're going through this process to consider what are, if you're doing the top 3 stresses, what are top 3 relaxers? What are some ways that I can be in the present moment and not be overly involved with my stress? Because here's the thing. If you're human and you're alive and you're breathing, you're stressed out. I don't care what you say. Like, that's just a part of the experience. It's how we manage that stress. So can we better manage it? Can we better reduce it? Because we're not going to eliminate it completely. And some stress is good for the system, some. However, we want to really get to know, how does the body respond? And guys, if you're with chronic illnesses, your body will bring you to your knees. And actually, so for those of you who are just watching, if you're listening, you're not going to get to see this, but if you're watching, let me see if I can, let me show you. One of the things my body does in stress is rejects my hair. That's the part of the whole endo being a, what do you call it, a systemic condition. So as you can see, I have this really long hair over here. This, about 4 inches here, that's from a bald spot from a year ago, where my hair just rejected itself, like totally clean bald spot. And this bald spot was me waiting too long to quit a job I needed to quit. I was coaching for a fitness studio. They were fantastic and fabulous. There were no hard feelings when I left, but I was not honoring my own needs and my own like health needs, and doing what I needed to do on my own. So I quit and decided to work for myself completely. And then, this is really sad. This actually hurt my feelings. I don't know if you can see it. Then, if you can see behind here, I just got another new bald spot, like literally on the anniversary of that year. But I want to share this with you because it's really important. So it's the 1-year anniversary of a time in my life that was very, very tough, where stress was, I took temporary custody of my niece. Her guardian went into rehab. There's just a lot. There were a lot of things that were coming up for me. I was breaking into success in my industry, and I was also in some devastation and some extreme, some like trauma had been triggered. And this is important. This is why I want to share this with you. When we experience diagnoses in our reproductive organs, and when we experience issues and diagnoses and symptoms in our digestive system, 9 times out of 10, there are also emotional wounds that haven't fully been processed. And sometimes this is where the stress is coming from. We ignore our grief, we ignore our anger, we bury it, and we go about handling our adult responsibilities. We don't pay attention to the fact that maybe we're sort of dying on the inside. And we hide it, or we squash it, or we don't allow ourselves to really feel it because sometimes we think we won't come back from it. That's been one of my biggest issues, is I will be triggered, not know that I'm triggered. And by the way, I have my own coach and I go to therapy And I do a lot of other therapies. I do chiropractic care, I do acupuncture, meditation, essential oils. Like I could sit here and go on, and I got a salt lamp right here. um, but I've tried CBD. I mean, I'm with you on trying and figuring out what helps my body. But let me tell you something. If you're trying to manage the physical symptoms and diagnoses without paying attention to underlying emotional wounds that maybe haven't been processed, trauma, PTSD, um, things of that nature, if they haven't really been processed, the body doesn't forget. And those things attach to our organs. They do, and they manifest into physical conditions. And so I've learned through my own journey and then through seeing countless clients and helping them through these things, from issues of their physical ailments, of harnessing the reins of their health and wellness, to even the TTC journey and helping them overcome the things that are holding them back. There are often barriers, and those barriers are creating stress in our bodies. Our bodies can't, they don't speak English, and they're not going to, or whatever language, whatever other languages you might speak. They're not going to write you a letter. Your body's not going to write you a letter and say, hey, I really need you to take better care of yourself. I need you to feed yourself well. I need you to make sure you're honoring the calling of your soul. I need you to make sure you're setting firm boundaries. I need you to make sure you're drinking enough water. Like, you're low in magnesium. I need you to bump that up. Your body's not going to write you a letter or send you a text or any of that. Its only form of communication is through pain and disease and distress, or energy or lack of energy, feeling good, feeling crummy. That's how your body is letting you know something is wrong. So don't ignore it, and don't accept the diagnosis unless you want to, because we get something from that, right? We get victimhood. And if you want to be in victimhood, that's your right. You do you. But if you're listening to this, and if you haven't turned this off yet, if you're still listening to me speaking right now, you are not a person who wants to be in victimhood. You're a person who wants to thrive. So consider healing to be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and ask yourself what you can do on that journey. So when I say who we're being when we eat, some of that has to do with like breathing and chewing. Do I set the fork down? Am I just shoveling everything in and just mindlessly not paying attention while I'm watching TV and not caring about what I eat, and everything is just processed, or everything is just junk? I mean, there's the what, and then there's the who we're being. But also, am I eating in a stress state? Am I eating because of stress? How do I feel in my body? And what foods help me feel really fantastic and energized? And what foods make me tired? What foods cause me to want to take a nap? These are important things to be aware of. So a couple of things that you can do to start to pay attention to this, to heal this digestive distress. The obvious ones are sleep. Like, sleep is crucial to everything, because that's where you rest and digest. That's literally, well, obviously you digest throughout the day, but your detoxification process in your body is happening when you're sleeping. This is where things heal. This is where muscles build. This is where all this stuff, all the magical things happen when you're asleep. Water, hydration. Are you drinking enough water? And once you get hydrated, your body starts to get like, it starts to let you know that you're getting thirsty. And you're like, I just drank water. But when you're hydrated, your body does not want to go back into dehydration. Excuse me. So it doesn't want to go back into dehydration. So you want to make sure. And a really good like measuring stick per se is just monitoring your urine output. Except for the first time, except for first thing in the morning. Whenever you pee, take a look. If it's yellow, you need to drink more water. If it's clear, you can back off a little bit. You're looking for like a straw, blonde, pale yellow color. And that gives you a pretty good idea, unless you're ingesting anything that alters the color of your urine. But normally, if it's highly saturated, if you can smell it, anything like that, you are dehydrated. If your lips are chapped, you're dehydrated. If your eye is twitching, you're probably dehydrated and you're probably stressed out. So things like that. So sleep, crucial. Water, crucial. Fiber. We are chronically low in fiber in a lot of different cases. So fiber is tons of fruits and vegetables have lots of fiber in them. Avocado, guys, avocado is such a great, it's got fat, it's got some protein, it's got some fiber. Avocado is like a magical food. So I hope you're eating avocado. If you love avocado, have one every day, for real. I'm so serious. You can get some extra fiber from flaxseed and chia seeds. If you're seed cycling now, to balance your hormones, you're going to see different seeds at different times of your cycle. It is actually, we'll do an episode in the future specifically on seed cycling. But you can look it up. It's really, really easy to do. In fact, I'm going to be doing that really, really soon because I feel like I just need a little bit more boost in my progesterone levels. So seed cycling can be fantastic just to help with that hormone balance. So yeah, fiber. You can get like powders like acacia or psyllium husk and add that to different things to just boost your fiber. Tons of dark leafy greens. I mean, just ensuring that if you're monitoring, like you could, I don't love tracking food. Like when people want to lose weight and they want to count calories, that's my nightmare. So normally with my clients, that's the very last resort. I don't want people counting calories and counting all their macros. And I'm one of those people that's like, if you're not going to do it for the rest of your life, why are you doing it? But tracking your fiber can give you an idea of where you are. And so you could track that for a little bit and just see, where am I? Because most people are chronically low. And if you start to increase your fiber, by the way, just disclaimer here, don't do that too fast. You'll be miserable, you'll hate me, and you'll never speak to me again. You don't want to increase your fiber too quickly. You want to slowly build that up. Otherwise, you'll be in a whole nother world of digestive distress. So start to amp up your fiber slowly and see if you can get yourself to like 30 grams a day. And once you're there, that's a great like happy medium. You can press that. You can go to 35. But you could just see where you are. You might feel really great at 25, but I would love for you to see, can I get up to 30? And so so that you can get that fiber so that it does so many good things for the body. It helps you release fatty tissue. It helps you release and move out that extra estrogen and all the other stuff that your body doesn't need. But it also like scrubs your colon and it scrubs everything down. It like cleanses your system. So fiber, crucial. And then there's some things that have fantastic properties in them and micronutrients and minerals that support the overall, sorry, I need a tissue, the overall gut health. So a couple of gut healing, gut healthy foods or supplements are like bone broth is fantastic. It's obviously ideal if you make it yourself. And it's pretty easy to do because you pretty much just put scraps in it and the actual bones, and you can throw it in like a crock pot and have it just sitting there. So if you're cutting up other vegetables for other things and you have like the ends of your carrots or whatever, you can put that in the bone broth and it just soaks up all those nutrients. And then you pretty much just strain out the waste products and you drink the broth and sip on the broth. There are ready-made like bone broth products, and just be mindful, be mindful of what you are purchasing. Look at the sourcing. Just pay attention. So bone broth is great. Aloe is great for gut healing. Flaxseed is fantastic. Aloe, you might not, I don't know if you'll necessarily be like drinking aloe. Some people do. Um, some people like take the little gel packets and drink them like that. Obviously, you want to make sure it's a food grade aloe. Don't go in the suntan lotion section and grab a bottle of aloe there and start drinking it because they've added things to it. So there's my disclaimer on that. So obviously, like I was saying, now I will say this because fruits and veggies can be very supportive for the gut. However, if your gut's in distress and you start eating a bunch of raw vegetables, the cruciferous veggies tend to be a little bit harder on the system. So you might be frustrated because you're trying to increase your vegetables and get all those fantastic nutrients, and then it's messing with your digestive system. If that's you, make sure you go ahead and steam them just for like 4 minutes. You want to go ahead and cook them. You can do soups and broths and stews, and that'll make it easier for the body to process. So keeping that in mind. And then also it's never a bad time to do like a reset, a cleanse, just giving your body like tons of nourishment, but the digestive system a bit of a break from some of the harsher foods or the processed foods or the fast foods, things like that. You don't have to do a reset or a cleanse. There are some that are fantastic. There are some that are not. I much prefer you do something that requires or involves whole food, real food. Some people like to do juice cleanses, and that's fantastic. If you get in trouble on a juice cleanse, a lot of fallbacks for adding in solid foods are things like quinoa and like wild rice and vegetables, like steamed vegetables. So those are things if you're like, hey, I'm trying this juice cleanse, please do your research. Please don't go crazy. If you've never done a cleanse and you try to do a 7-day juice cleanse, that's just asking for trouble. That is not ideal. I'm actually not that big of a fan of juice cleanses. I think that you need to be at a certain level before you're ready for that. But you do your own research and you do, what makes the most sense for you. And if you're not sure how, reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook at Kenny Rochelle Coaching. I have a website coming up soon, but it's not up. And then also at any point in time, if you can always reach out to Kristen and she'll connect you with me as well. I do have a Facebook group, Endometriosis, Nourish, Flourish, Thrive. However, I'm beginning to focus, I'm spread a little bit thin on all the different things that I'm doing. So I really want to just focus here in the podcast with Kristen. So go ahead and just meet me at my Facebook page, KENNI-RICHELLE Coaching on Facebook. You can find me there. So I hope this was really useful. Again, I know I just threw a lot of seemingly scattered information, but the whole point here is to make sure that you're not only paying attention to what you're eating, you're paying attention to how you're eating your food. Are you chewing? Are you eating super, like way too fast? Are you miserable after you eat? Is your energy drained after you eat? So how you're eating is important. Can you slow down? Can you chew more? Can you give your body the chance to process and assimilate these nutrients and boost your metabolic fire versus dragging your energy down? Your eating is supposed to give you energy, not take it away. And then also who you're being. Are you in a stress state? Are you in a chronic low-level state of stress consistently? Did you just get yelled at by your boss, or were you just in traffic, or are you just pissed off because you've been bedridden for 3 days and you're mad at the world because you're in pain and all you want in the world is junk food because it's just the only sense of pleasure you can have right now? Is that you? Because if it is, I get that. By the way, guys, I am a former binge eater, former sugar addict, emotional eater. Like, food was my vice. It was how I managed my depression and my anxiety. So when I'm sharing these things, it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's coming from a place of, I have freaking been there. I have torn up my body physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in every facet. I have destroyed myself from the inside out. And I've also healed myself from the inside out. So it is possible. It is possible to soothe your digestive system and create some gut healing. So look up some gut healing recipes and see if there's something easy you can start just adding in, and ensuring that sleep and that water and what did I tell you earlier? Sleep, water, fiber. That was it, fiber. Ensuring that you're boosting that fiber gradually to get yourself up and up so that the body can really process and do its job well. And then lasering in on, what am I eating? How am I eating? Who am I being when I'm eating? And lastly, but definitely not least, paying attention to healing trauma, to healing old emotional wounds, or not even old ones, maybe recent ones, to really allowing yourself grief and frustration and anger and not living there, but healing. Whether that's you're reading books, you're going to therapy, you're hiring a coach like me, whatever that takes, Reiki, acupuncture, meditation, journaling. There's not a one size fits all. There's just whatever works for you. Do you need to be on the beach every day? Do you need to be playing music, letting yourself heal, and paying attention to what wants to heal and what needs to heal, so that you don't stay trapped by patterns and wounds of your past? I have had to face so much in order to, like, from sexual assault to my relationship with my parents to all just the shitstorm that was my childhood. Like, and there are days where I go, what the hell else could there possibly be? And I'm still on my journey. And I am not perfect, but I will be damned if I'm not going to live my absolute best life. And I will not let those other things hold me back. And I'll tell you, normally, digestive distress comes from things that emotionally, things that we have trouble digesting, like fully accepting, and a lot of wounding in our ovaries. That can be related to creation, like things that I've created that actually cause me harm, or halting all creation and not honoring being a creative being. So there's a lot of different ways that comes through. So it's really quite fascinating once you start to understand. I'm going to actually say a book name. When you start to understand the anatomy of the spirit, and that's actually a book, The Anatomy of the Spirit by Caroline Myss. And she's basically a healer, and she lays out like the chakras and the body systems and the physical symptoms that manifest from our spiritual, like, energy blocks and our spiritual pain. And it's really, truly an amazing process to start understanding that. I know that's a little bit unconventional. I hear you. I get it. I used to think it was freaking nuts and I wanted nothing to do with it. I thought, well, I'll just eat healthy and exercise and I'll have it all figured out. But that just wasn't the case for me. So I'm so glad you guys were here with me. I am supporting you and cheering you on your health and wellness journey, on improving your digestion, getting rid of those symptoms in the digestive system, and improving your symptoms related to endo. And if you want to connect with me, Kenny with an I, Kenny Rochelle Coaching on Facebook. If you can't find me, just look me up on Facebook at Kenny King, KenniKing. There aren't that many lady Kennys with an I, so it's pretty easy to find me on social. Anyway, love you guys. So glad you were here. And as always, reach out to myself or Kristen if you want us to tackle a subject that you'd like to either learn more about or that you'd like for people to understand more about. Let us know. We're here for you and your ultimate success. And until next time.